right, happening today in just a couple of hours, 9:30 this morning, former President Donald Trump is expected to actually appear in person in a D.C. courtroom to ask a judge, actually 3 judges, for immunity in his federal election case.
Well, the Trump legal team fighting to get this case dismissed after a costly, years-long probe by the special counsel, Jack Smith.
But it's getting complicated. Alexandria Hoff is live outside the U.S. Court of Appeals in Washington with the latest. Alex.
Yeah, good morning to you. So oral arguments are going to be heard today. They shouldn't take much time at all. They're going to begin around 9:30, and the former president is set to arrive shortly before that. Now, this is new territory, what's happening here today, because no court has ever had to rule whether a president has immunity from criminal charges, mainly because no one in that position has ever been charged with a crime. The former president posted this yesterday on Truth Social, quote, "If I don't get immunity, then crooked Joe Biden doesn't get immunity." And with the border invasion and Afghanistan surrender alone, not to mention the millions of dollars that went into his pockets from money from foreign countries, Joe would be ripe for indictment. By weaponizing the DOJ against his political opponent, me, Joe has opened a giant Pandora's box. Now, taking a look at the timeline in this case, remember back in early August, former President Trump was charged in relation to alleged attempts to overturn the 2020 election results. He pleads not guilty a short time later. In December, the Supreme Court declines to fast-track Trump's immunity claim. That's what sent it here to appeals court today. Last week, the former president's lawyers asked Judge Tanya Chutkin to hold special counsel Jack Smith and his team in contempt of court for continuing to file motion while the appeals process has paused the case. Now, separately, there's been a twist in Trump's election interference case in Georgia. A co-defendant of the former president is accusing Fulton County DA Fani Willis of having an inappropriate relationship with the top prosecutor on the case. Now, according to the Washington Examiner, quote, Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade, a private attorney, has been paid roughly $654,000 in legal fees by Fulton County since January of 22, some of which he used to pay for extravagant vacations with Willis. So when it comes to the Trump's the hearing here today for the federal case and on this immunity appeal, the Trump team is going to argue that a president, past, current, so sitting president, that they have absolute immunity from criminal charges. The government's argument, it's pretty cut and dry. They're saying that if the court were to side with that immunity, that would allow for presidents to simply go out and commit crimes. Guys?
That's what they say. Ultimately, this is expected to go before the Supreme Court, which is to the left of you, about a half a mile, Alex.
Yeah.
But, you know, this particular appeal regarding this one case is bigger than this one case. I mean, Trump's lawyers used it yesterday to say that the Georgia case should be thrown out.
Yeah, I mean, this would, if the court eventually does decide that a president cannot be charged with a crime, I mean, that could absolve almost all of Trump's legal problems, at least criminally. Yep. Civilly, it might get it a little bit more complicated, but you're looking back, I mean, when you look at some of this case text, they're talking about James Madison, Richard Nixon. I mean, this would change a lot about the way that the U.S. government system looks at the office of presidency.
Yeah, but if that's the law, that's the law. Presidential immunity, his team says it shields him from criminal prosecutions. It should be dismissed with prejudice.
Well, that's what they say.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Yeah.
Let's see what the 3 judges who are going to go to work at 9:30 in the morning in the building behind Alex have to say.
But you know what's so interesting is one thing that Trump already accomplished by doing this, it delays. He wants to delay it as long as possible for 2 reasons. Number one, he wants, in his ideal world, there'll be no cases. Second best scenario, after the election. And then if you get this done a little bit later, he feels as though if he can blitz early and actually lock this thing up before Super Tuesday, let alone Super Tuesday, it'll become obvious to everybody that his opponent, the way Trump likes to couch it, and a lot of people think there's some backing behind it, his opponent's looking to take him out. I'm the nominee. I'm not the perhaps the nominee. I'm not the leader. I am the nominee.
Yeah.
And you're going after me. You're stopping me from running against you. In fact, these states are actually doing that directly. They're stopping me from being on the ballot. You can't stop someone from running against you by just bringing court case after court case. And other people say, hey, you know, it's your behavior that's doing that. The legal process is playing out. but it's hard to see a total divorce between the Justice Department under Merrick Garland and the President of the United States, even though he wants us to perceive it that way.
I wonder what will happen in the Georgia case, if it will be thrown out. I mean, this is pretty bombshell news, what's happening with the DA, Fannie Willis, having a relationship allegedly with this private attorney. It was brought upon this filing. The court records show that Wade was paid $654,000 in legal fees since January 2 years ago. And a former Trump campaign official, his name is Michael Roman, he filed this motion. This is his goal. He's seeking to have his own charges dismissed, and he wants Willis, Wade, and the entire DA's office to be disqualified from further prosecution of this case.
It sounds like there are some sealed divorce documents somehow involved, and we're going to hear more about that today. In the meantime, listen to this.
Can I just add one other thing?
Okay.
They take the money, $654,000. Was he using some of the money that the Georgia city government was paying him and going on vacations with her?
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
Yes.
Are people okay with that? There's no ethics violation there? That's the thing that's going to come under scrutiny. And you know that if this guy, Mike Roman's going to go after him, you know Trump's going to do the same thing.
All right. I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.